Boa tarde, gente. Bem-vindos a mais uma live do Guide Your Future, o nosso programa semanal sobre estudos no exterior. Meu nome é Gabriela, eu sou a College Counselor do Positivo International School, e hoje a gente tem uma convidada especial, que é a Andrea Maldonado. Ela vai conversar com a gente sobre a NSLC, que é uma organização que fica em Chicago, que oferece programas de curta duração para alunos do Ensino Fundamental 2 e do Ensino Médio. Então, a gente vai falar um pouquinho sobre esses programas e a gente também vai abrir para perguntas para tirar as dúvidas de vocês. Tá bom? So, welcome, Andrea. So nice to have you here. Thank you for accepting my invitation to talk to our students.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Boa tarde, muito prazer. Eu falo muito mal o português.
No, that's not true.
So
nice to have you here. And so you can start your presentation. What can you tell us about NSLC?
fantastic. Well, thank you again for the amazing invitation and introduction. I am Dr. Andrea Maldonado. My friends call me Dr. Dre. I hold a PhD in anthropology from Brown University in the United States, and I am our director of international and overseas admissions. And I have the opportunity to work with amazing educators all over the world, just like you, Gabriela. I happened to be I was in Costa Rica last week, working with our school's partners down there and lots of educators. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me to spend some time with you. I've worked with NSLC for almost 20 years in some capacity. And before that, I've had experience working in university admissions, college counseling, teaching, always working with youth programs, because I really do believe that not only are jovens, youth, are our future, they are our generation of today that can really make a difference. So, and that really goes right well into what we offer as an organization, the National Student Leadership Conference. I imagine that there are some people in the audience watching today who don't know anything about the NSLC, and that's perfect. Yeah. We're so glad you're here. We have been around since 1989, so over 30 years of experience working with high school students. And we offer 30 different career-focused programs during our summer, so your winter. We have different dates available in June, in July, and August. And I know for the Brazilian academic calendar, most of your vacation time is in July. Yes. Our students every summer spend time at 13 incredible universities in the United States, and we receive students from all over the world. Most of our students are Americans, so this is an amazing opportunity for Brazilians to not only represent their school, like in this instance, Colégio Positivo, but also their country. They may be one of the few Brazilians in our program, and that is quite an honor. What a way to display your leadership.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we have, we get students who come to our programs for 3 different reasons. The first reason that students come to us is the career exploration. This is what sets us apart from other organizations. Basically, what I always tell students and families who are trying to understand what we do is all of you need to select a career, especially if you choose to go to university in Brazil. You need to select a career before going to university. So we will give you an opportunity to test drive your career interests. Some of you watching may be interested or think you are interested in medicine or business or engineering, but you really don't know what these careers do or what these professionals do in these careers. And so we will give you an opportunity to basically try on the career through hands-on activities, simulations, field trips, exclusive meetings with professionals. You'll have all of these opportunities. So by the end of the 9 days or the 18 days that you're with us, you will be able to say with confidence, I want to study medicine, I want to study business, or my gosh, I am so glad that I did that business program because I don't want to study business. And thank goodness I made this decision at 16, 17 years old before I actually am in university. So that is the number one reason students come to us, is to
That's
try
a very
out.
good reason.
Yeah, I think so too. It's an investment. It's an investment
Yeah,
in their
absolutely.
future.
Yeah.
The second reason, Gabriela, is to have a little bit of independence from their mothers and fathers. And I know, Brazilian families are extremely close. So I know this may be a little scary for the moms and the fathers, out there to let their 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old child go off on a plane by themselves and live without them. It's only 9 days or 18. There are other students their same age doing this, and it will be an amazing opportunity for them to have prior to going to university. It helps them become more responsible citizens and responsible for their actions. They get to choose what they want to wear. They get to, decide, I don't want to do breakfast this morning. So, or I would like to sleep in. They get to make those decisions in a very safe environment. It is very safe. We have faculty and staff members always with the students, so it's very safe. And then the third reason that students come to participate in the NSLC is actually the reason why I work for the NSLC. It is the leadership component. This is the life changing aspect of NSLC. We hire amazing TED Talk type leadership facilitators who work with our students on different types of skill, like learning about your personality style. How do I communicate effectively with personality styles that are different from my own? How do I resolve conflicts when they arise? How do I speak in public? How do I work well with teams? These are what we call in the United States life skills. And those skills can be applied to any career, not just the one that they, came to study with us. Does that all make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity. The kind of opportunity I wish I had when I was their age.
Me too. Me too. Me too. So I'm gonna show a video, a very short video that was
Okay.
just recently created. And this is actually probably the debut of the video across Brazil.
Wow.
And yes. And this video includes students who participated in our programs in 2021. So we did have programs last summer in 2021. Unfortunately, you're not going to hear from some Brazilians because, as you might have remembered, last summer it was
Yeah.
really difficult for Brazilians to come to the United States.
Yeah.
But that is different for this summer. So that is why you're not going to hear specific Brazilians. But let's hear from some of
Okay.
the other ones. Does that sound good?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Here at NSLC, I've had a really good time. I've made lots of friends and a lot of new, insightful, and good skills.
I've been to other camps as well. It's nothing really like NSLC.
I'm one of the international students. I'm super well accepted. I came here and I immediately was like, wow, this is going to be life-changing. And it really has.
That whole college process is a bit terrifying, and so that alleviated anxiety that I have.
I was very intimidated at first because obviously new people, new place, new country.
English is not my first language, and they always help me find different ways to let me understand.
I came here to really listen to opposing sides of view and opening my mind.
That have helped not only potentiate myself as a person, but also potentiate myself in the future.
I love the leadership portion especially. It's nothing like I've seen before.
Making friends and learn the local culture and challenge myself in here.
With this program, I completely decided what I love. Studying in the US is something that I look forward to. It's one of my main goals. This is one of the best programs I've done in my life.
That's great.
Yes, yes, it is. It's just wonderful to hear the students' voices, which are so important. And these are the different programs that we are offering this summer. Like I said, 30 programs. I wish I had time to talk about all of them,
All
but
of
if there,
them, yeah.
I only have time to talk about our 3 main programs, so I'll go
Great.
into that. But like, I just wanted to point out, most of the programs are 9 days. Where you'll see, for example, the intensives, for example, here, you'll see 18 days. So all of the intensive programs are 18 days. And I would say the main difference between a 9-day program and an 18-day is really double the simulations, double the field trips, the guest speakers. So you get everything, you get more of everything.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Two
with
times over, yeah.
2 times over, exactly. And the main difference, I think, with engineering and medicine is that the medicine intensive, since we have the time, we will go into more, we'll go into more detail about different specialties of medicine. So plastic surgery, dermatology, neurosurgery. Whereas again, with the 9-day program, we just don't have that time to do that. And the same thing would be with the engineering program as well. So, but I'm going to talk about the 3 main programs. And the first is medicine. This is by far, especially, Oji, right? Like today, everybody wants medicine, and it makes sense. There are a lot of public health concerns. And so a lot of students, they've watched Grey's Anatomy, Dr. House.
Yeah.
So they have fallen in love with medicine. But really, do you know what medicine and healthcare is all about from a practical perspective? So this program, they'll have an opportunity to work with a surgeon who will teach them how to suture, who will teach them how to tie surgical knots. We'll get to go behind the scenes and go into simulation laboratories that medical students get to utilize. Medical students in the United States, learning CPR and different techniques. They also will have an opportunity to take a public health project that is important to them and create a public service announcement. And I should tell you that this program, Medicine and Healthcare, is located at almost every single one of our locations, university locations. So there's lots and lots of options. The curriculum is always the same. What changes are the different guest speakers and the field trips. Does that make sense, right, Gabby?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay. Engineering is also a very, very cool, popular program. This is a great program for students who are interested in building. So do they want to build trebuchets? Do they build catapults and wind turbines? As you could see in the left-hand corner in the picture, students get to build underwater robots that have to collect the tennis balls. It is really incredible. We provide all of the materials that the students use, and they, working together on teams, they get to they figure out how to put together these building projects. They also, if they were interested in aerospace engineering, we also offer a program in aerospace where they would build drones and rockets and visit places like NASA and Lockheed Martin. So really gives them some really great opportunities to start networking. And then one of the things that I love about our engineering program is that we give our engineering students an opportunity not only to create and invent things that are important to them, maybe products or devices, but we also engage our engineering students to learn how to market their inventions to other people
Wow.
in a simulation that is probably, I know in Brazil you have, because we have it here too, Shark Tank. It's a television
Yeah.
show, and
Yeah.
I know it's very popular. So we teach our students in the engineering program how to pitch their new inventions or creations. It's pretty cool, and
That's
that
great.
yeah, and that's
The business side of it, yeah.
that is the business side. So in some ways, the engineering students get both engineering and a little bit of business. And it really segues perfectly into our next program, next popular, the business and entrepreneurship program. And where students here are divided into small teams, where they will get to create their own business as a startup company from start to finish. They will be divided into, a finance team, an administration team, marketing, public relations, and they will work all of the details out over the week. And then at the very end, they do a Shark Tank simulation where they have to convince
That's awesome. Yeah.
potential sharks or investors to fund their entrepreneurial creation. So it's very, very cool. And one of the questions that I often get is, how do I make a choice between your business program at Yale, for example, and your business program at Berkeley? It's a great question. Like I mentioned with the medicine program, the curriculum is always the same, regardless of the locations. What changes are the field trips. So, for example, if students had more of an inclination or a desire to learn about finance, then maybe I would send them to, a program in New York or a program that's close to New York where there's more of an opportunity to potentially visit more, Fortune 500, Wall Street type businesses. Whereas in California, because San Francisco is, one of the tech capitals of, our country, they would visit, more tech industries. So it's really important for students to look on our website to see, what are the field trips that are happening in each location.
Great.
Yeah. So, and these are the locations where we're going to have programs at in 2022. And I have to say, a lot of we are filling up very, very quickly. And our newest locations I'm very excited about this, are University of Texas at Austin, Johns Hopkins University, and Duke University. They're going to have lots of opportunities. Yeah. And it's also important to know that not every single program is located at every university. So, for example, our marine biology is located, near the ocean. Our marine biology program would not be located at Duke, right? It's on the West Coast. Theater, for example, is another program that we would not have, at the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine. We have it in New York City, so students can have opportunities to visit Broadway, that sort of thing. So it's important to know that not all of the programs are located at all of the locations. But once they are with us, they will stay in a dormitory and they will stay with another student that is participating in the program. So if there are two business students participating in the program, they will be matched, and it's matched by gender and by age. So that is how it's done. Now, let's say we have two Brazilians from the same school who are going to the same program, the same dates. They can request to be roommates, and that's fine. We honor those requests. Really, they are only sleeping in the dorm because they are so busy. We keep our kids busy from 9 o'clock in the morning until 10:30 at night every single day. So
They'll be tired.
They'll be tired. They just basically sleep.
And yeah, and I can see you only have, great universities listed here. Universities most of our students already like and are, thinking of applying there in the
Great.
future. So this is really great. Yeah.
Yeah, this gives them an opportunity really to experience what is life like at
Yeah.
UCLA or at Berkeley. I mean, especially if they're interested in studying at that university, such a great idea for them to actually spend, a couple of weeks with us. So, um,
Hmm.
so the next part I just wanted to mention is that a lot of students, we get students in a different ways. Most of our students, especially international students, are coming to us through the relationships that we have with
Hmm.
educators, with counselors, just like you,
Hmm.
Gabriela. You would go ahead and nominate. Educators at the school would nominate your top students or students who are interested in attending, and then they can enroll online, and they will be accepted as long as there's space in the program. So that's the
Yeah.
main way we get our students internationally. But a lot of the students, especially in the United States, they come to us through their performance on a college board exam like the PSAT or an
Hmm.
advanced placement exam. And so if they are high scores and they have very good grades, they may get an invitation in the mail that says, congratulations, you've been, selected to attend one of
Hmm.
our programs. But as we know, just because you're a good test taker doesn't mean you're necessarily a good leader. And so we have some students who find out about us through events like this or through the internet. They
Yeah.
Google and they may register directly on our website. And that is fine. It's okay if they do that. They will have to provide, however, a name and an email address of
Hmm.
a teacher at their school who will basically say that the student's character and grades, are what the student says, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Sure.
and so because I'm more concerned about character and disciplinary issues than I am about
Yeah. Sure.
grades per se, because the
Yeah.
programs
It
are
makes
so
sense.
short. It does. The programs are so short. We just don't have the time to deal with disciplinary issues at our programs. Our
Yeah.
our
Sure.
students want to be a part of us. They want to be a part of our programs. They're part of a leadership camp. So they really they want to be there. And so we don't want to ruin the experience for anyone. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I know there's probably some parents that are in the room at wondering, what our program tuition, and just like universities
Yeah.
charge a tuition, we do too. We have to, in order to be able to provide all of the incredible experiences that we have and staff the place, staff the programs appropriately, and bring in the top professors, and have the students stay in really great dormitories. So the program tuition is listed here, and this is in US dollars, obviously. This really includes everything once the student arrives on campus. It does not include their airline tickets from Brazil to Los Angeles or to New York. It does not include the airport transportation. We do
Okay.
offer an airport transportation service, and most Brazilians have no problem utilizing that service. We will pick them up in baggage
Hmm.
claim because your students usually fly the night before, and then
Yes.
we pick them up in the morning, on the first day of the program. So it's usually not a problem for Brazilian students. Um, and obviously, um, eh, today I really recommend purchasing trip insurance as well. You just never know what may
Yeah.
happen while you're gone. I purchased trip insurance last week when I was in
Hmm.
Costa Rica. I was in a car accident last week on the first day,
Yeah.
and needed medical attention. So I really recommend for buying, having international medical insurance, and also purchasing the
Medical
trip
insurance. Yes,
insurance. Yes, to
for
protect your
sure.
trip. And then
To
of
be in
course
the
if
States.
to be in the United States. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then spending money. Students would, obviously, like, they want to bring souvenirs back to their friends and show off their UCLA and their UC Berkeley, Cal, sweatshirts. So that would obviously be extra too. Parents do not have to pay this all at once. We have payment plans, so they can pay this off gradually. And we have a very special risk-free enrollment program this year because of the pandemic. So families can register right now, and then if for whatever reason they choose to cancel by May 1, so they have until May 1st, if they cancel for whatever reason, we will refund them all of the money that they've paid so far. So there's no risk.
That's important to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to take in the last couple of minutes, I wanted to talk to your students and families about scholarships. I recommend applying for scholarships. The US dollar and the real is not worth the same right now. Your families may have been.
Not at all.
No. And 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I was in Brazil, it wasn't the same as it is today. So, I recommend applying for a program scholarship. Students have plenty of time. These scholarships are based on both academic merit and financial need. So students would need to register first for the program to secure their spot in the program. They do pay the deposit. And then immediately following that registration, they go on our website. Up at the top, there is a link that says scholarships. They go in and enter the scholarship application. They start it. They don't have to finish it that day, but they would start it because the moment they start and complete step 1, all of their payments will be paused until we give them an answer. So it's great. Yeah, all they have to pay is that deposit. And then they have time to collect all of the information that they're going to need, which I'll go through in a little bit. And March 16 is the deadline. So there are no exceptions. March 16th, they have to submit their scholarship application. And then
we still have a few weeks.
Yes, they have plenty of time. They have 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they, 3 weeks later, in April, early April, we will give them an answer. And if they don't get a scholarship or the amount they receive is not enough for them to attend the program, they can cancel and get a full refund. So it's really, really good. And these scholarships, I will tell you, about 85% of the students who apply for a scholarship get something. So it may be $350, it could be $500, it could be $750, it could be even a little bit more depending on the academic merit and the financial need. Anything helps the parents, right? With the airline ticket, anything helps. So this is, So this is the checklist of information. So the first thing this is a little bit more complex, the application process. So they will need to provide a letter of recommendation. They'll provide the name and email address of a teacher who knows them very well and who can write a quality letter of recommendation in English on their behalf, telling them about their character. And the way I explained it last week in Costa Rica was you don't want a letter that's 2 sentences long that says Joao is a good student. That's just not going to contribute a lot to your application. You're going to want a statement, a letter that says, how did Joao behave and work well with with his peers in his biology class, things like that, so we could get a better sense of who he is or she is.
Yeah.
One piece of advice for the students watching this: please, please, please do not ask your teachers on March 15th to give you a letter. No. Right, Gabby?
No. Yes, right.
You need to give your teachers at least 2 weeks notice
Yeah, sure.
At least, because otherwise they're not going to be able to write you a quality letter of
A
recommendation.
quality letter, exactly. That's
So,
precisely the point.
yes. I'll get to the essays in just a second. They also the students will list all of their extracurricular activities since they
Mm-hmm.
started high school. And so that might be, let's say they're learning Spanish or French
Mm-hmm.
outside of school, or let's say they participate in church activities. They hold a leadership position in their church, or they are part of football, or a dance, an outside of their school, or even inside their school. All of those
Mm-hmm.
activities that are not part of math, science, like strictly the materials that they study, the academic, that all of that
Everything
can
they do outside of school, right? All the
everything,
activities they do,
everything, and
their
they'll
hobbies, their passions, everything
ex-
they're interested in.
volunteering, they will have space
Yeah,
to fill in eight different activities. And if they only
great.
have 3, that's okay. If they have 8,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Just
Good.
include whatever you have. Um,
Okay.
and then from you or an educator at their school, they will have to provide a high school transcript. So of all of their courses that they've taken since the start of high school, and all of their grades, whether it's international baccalaureate grades, whatever grades that they
Mm-hmm.
receive, or the Brazilian system, it's totally up to them. And the transcript does not have to be official. It can be a copy. So
Okay.
it's really easy. Um,
Easy. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm going to just talk lastly about the essays, because I want to give students some tips. We ask
Okay.
2 essays. One essay the students can write on their own. It's 500 words, and it's about who they are. Just like I was describing about the engineering program and the business
Mm-hmm.
program, where students learn how to, pitch their ideas to the public. Well, guess what? You get to pitch or sell yourself to us, to
Yeah.
our foundation,
Yeah.
like basically like convincing us that you are worthy of this scholarship money, and that the program, international diplomacy or medicine, that you are applying for will not be the same without your participation. So it's got to be a strong essay, and this is excellent practice for when you
Mm-hmm.
are a senior in high school,
Yes.
when you're in your last year. If you choose to go to university in many other countries like the United States, you're going to have to write these personal statements. This is going to
Yeah.
help you. So this is going to be great practice. And you definitely should get an English teacher or a counselor to review your essay before submitting
Yeah.
it. So
Yes.
very, very
Absolutely.
important. Very important.
It's a great
That,
way of training for this
yeah,
application process when they go to college.
yes. Yes,
They're not very used to write that personal essays.
it could actually be a draft of the college application essay. That's
Yes,
the
yes.
way I look at it. Yeah. And then the second essay, they're going to need help from their parents, because they're going to need to talk to their parents about their financial situation. So perhaps this is completely confidential. And if the parents write in English, the parents can write this essay themselves. And the essay is really, you might want to talk about, how maybe the pandemic impacted your family. Maybe you had family members who were sick, and your, you know, family
Mhm.
was supporting those family members. Or maybe someone in your family lost a job, and this impacted your family ability to pay full price for the program. So there's lots of different ways. Also, maybe you attend a private school in Brazil, and you are on a
Mhm.
scholarship to attend that program.
Yeah.
That is really
Mhm.
great information. We want to know, because if another institution invested in you, we want to invest in you too. So that is really
Mhm.
important. And I would say, as a tip, just assume that the people who are reading your application don't know anything about Brazil. So you might need to explain a little bit about the economic situation in Brazil.
Yeah, the circumstances. Yeah, that's great to know.
Yeah. So those are some tips. And one of the things that I'm super excited to tell you all about is that once you've gone through our program, NSLC alumni from all over the world have an opportunity to compete for $20,000 college scholarships. I don't know any other summer program that offers this opportunity. Basically, if let's say a student this year, we have a student, Pedro, who is attending our game design program at UCLA, let's just say. And then, he actually really loves artificial intelligence or computer science, and he ends up wanting to study in university at Georgia Tech, let's just say. Let's say Georgia Tech accepts him. So when he is in his last year of high school, in April, he should apply for our $20,000 college scholarship. He might get the $20,000. We offer a $20,000 scholarship to each one of these universities on behalf of the NSLC alum. Isn't that amazing? So it's really an amazing opportunity. So that that the kids have, that the students have. So, and then just lastly, we'd love to have as many Brazilians come to our programs as possible. Feel free to keep in touch with us. We'd love to have you. The email address, you can email with questions. Our website is there. Our Instagram, please follow us on Instagram. All the latest information is there. And if you would like to get a digital brochure, you can just scan that QR code on your screen and you can get a digital brochure emailed to you. So, Gabby, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I am happy to answer questions. Ooh, I guess Gabby's feed is not working right now. Let's see if there are any questions in the audience. I am so happy to answer any questions. I hope this was informative too. Please feel free, no question is a bad question. That's what I always say. But, if you don't ask the question, then you won't be able to know the answer. One of the questions that I know I usually get from from families and students is this is very common. How will this look on my college applications? That is often a question that everyone asks. How does this appear on college applications? And it's a great question. It's a valid question. So no summer program is a ticket into university. No summer program. So it's that's just because you attend a summer program at the university is not a all admission, full admission ahead ticket to that university. However, what our programs do provide, let's say, like I mentioned, let's say Joao or Pedro, who is attending our game design program at UCLA, is interested in studying at UCLA. He is going to be able to write a more compelling statement about UCLA, about his time, because he's lived there, he's been there, and as well as the career choice that he wants. Or if Marcella wants to study medicine at at Northwestern University in Chicago, where I'm coming live from, then yes, like she will be able to say, after she attends our medicine program, she will be able to say with much more certainty in a statement in writing, why medicine is her first choice. So that's how it helps students stand out in college applications. You're able to convey the information much more compellingly than you would had you not attended one of our summer programs.
That's great.
I'm glad you're back, Gabby.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Internet, it's okay. We're all living with it. I do see a question in the chat, and
Okay.
is it possible to apply for two different courses in the same summer? And it's an excellent question. Let me tell you, it's so funny that you asked this, Marco, because I actually had a student from Brazil one year who applied. Well, it was his last year before senior year of school, of high school. So he had just this last summer to attend. Would you believe he attended 4 programs in one summer? I don't really recommend that because that's a lot of time, but he did that because I mean, his interests were from psychology, international relations, business, and engineering. He really did not know, and he went from location to location to location. So to answer your question, yes, students can attend more than one program. It is if the dates align, right? Because if a program ends on the 16th of July and the next program starts on the 17th or on the 16th, there needs to be it can't be on the same dates.
Yeah.
Like we can't end one program on the 15th and then the student leaves to go to another program on the 13th or something. So we just have to make sure that the dates they don't overlap.
Oh, that's great. But that's good to know that they
Yeah.
have the chance to if they want. There is just one specific program I'd like to talk to you about, which is the diplomacy, international relations and diplomacy, because I know that we have a couple of students interested in it, more in the diplomacy component of it. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Definitely. So the international diplomacy is one of the oldest programs that we've offered. We started with international diplomacy and law, and international diplomacy is 9 days, and students start in Washington, D.C. at Georgetown University, and we use a simulation called Model United Nations. So I'm sure
Yeah.
some of your schools use that as well.
Yes, we have that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're divided into countries and security councils. And then towards the end of the program, we take our students from Washington, D.C. to New York City to visit the United Nations and to meet UN personnel. And then we take them back to Washington, D.C. This is probably the most internationally diverse program. I would say, I mean, in some years, I remember I think it was 2019. I visited the program in Washington, D.C., and we had about 50% U.S. students and 50% international. It's very diverse, and yeah, it's a fantastic program. I highly recommend it.
No, that's great. That's good to know. In Brazil, it's more common when we have like international relations programs that they focus more on the private aspect of it, and some of our students are more interested in the diplomacy part of it. So that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, we've had guest speakers. Last year we had a guest speaker from the Embassy of Mexico. We have I've heard the president of the World Bank speak to our students. So sometimes the Interdevelopment Bank representatives will come and speak to our students, about their career trajectory. So yeah, it's very, development, diplomacy, and then the international relations, all of it together.
That's great. I don't know if you've mentioned it while I was gone, but can you tell me a little bit more about, our students are usually struggling with the idea of extracurricular activities because, usually that's not taken into account, for Brazilian universities in general. But when they apply to universities in the States, that's absolutely a factor that's considered, right?
It
So
is.
can you tell me, this is a great opportunity to have like an extracurricular activity that's leaning towards the area of interest of the students. Can you tell us from your experience how this program helps them to, in their future when they're applying to college and,
Yeah, I did spend a little bit of time on that. I did talk about, the importance of writing, more compelling personal statements. But one of the things is selective universities in the United States are going to look at how students spend their free time. And I should say there are lots of different summer opportunities, and not every summer opportunity is meant for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, there are some students that want to take one class at a university, maybe 3 hours every day, and the rest of the time free time. And that is valid. That is absolutely valid. That kind of student would be very disappointed at NSLC because we keep our students very busy all day long. So if they want a lot of free time, don't come to NSLC.
not the right
Yeah,
program.
it's not it won't be the right program. There are other students that want to do more research and independent research. All of these, experiences are valid and helpful to build up the student's resume, but it's the student's responsibility to speak about their experiences in their statements, in their interviews. Some students will have opportunities to interview with
Yes.
alumni representatives or university representatives. By participating in extracurricular activities like the NSLC, you will have more opportunities to be able to speak, about your experience doing these kind of extracurricular activities.
Oh, that's great. Do you guys have any more questions for Andrea? Any other questions? I know for a fact that we have 3 students already going to NSLC programs this summer. So we're very excited about that. One of them is going for the game design. The other one is going for the law intensive program at Georgetown, which I think is going to be great for them. And hopefully we'll have some more students interested in the future, in the near future, now that the pandemic, is sort of under control with the vaccines.
Yes, actually, thank you for reminding me, Gabby. I should mention all of our students and staff members are required to be vaccinated. So that is very, very important for families to know. There are a couple of locations that are actually also requiring the booster, so the 3rd shot. So you can always email us if you have questions about that. We're happy to help you, answer those.
Yeah, that's great to know. We have the booster shot just going faster
Starting
and
now,
faster
yeah.
for teenagers and everything. So I don't think it should be a problem. Let me see if we have another questions.
Yeah, especially for later July programs. I think by later July, you should have. Also, a lot of Brazilians, they plan to spend, some holidays, in the States. So,
Yes, in the summer, yeah.
So maybe you can get the shot before.
Yeah, I think so. I think this shouldn't be a problem for most. Okay, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think this is it.
Okay, it's been so great.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I was gone for a while.
It's okay. Like I said, I had to deal with internet. We're all dealing with it. But you know what? It's amazing. Since the pandemic, we are so much more adaptable, I think, than we ever were before.
Especially after the pandemic and with so much work going online, you have to be prepared. But thank you so much for
my
being
pleasure.
Here with
I
us.
hope we could get more Brazilians. Obrigada.
Thank you. Obrigada.
De nada.
If you guys have any questions for Andrea or even for me, you know where to find me. You can email me, you can come to my office, you know where it is, and we'll discuss the programs a little bit better, okay? Thank you, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.